Hey folks, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the video. This is a paid request from a very nice person. Shit. Shit. Fucking show tried to kill me. As I was saying, I'll just leave that in. As I was saying, for my fucking very nice person named Masi or Masi. I never know how to pronounce it right, so I apologize. Very kind, very generous. Thank you. Sent in a request for me to talk about the first couple episodes of Them, which there were 2 seasons, 18 episodes. So the first 2 episodes of season 1, episode 1 and 2, which came out around 2021. And thank you for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, whether it be movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. I really do. Now, I forgot that I actually have seen these 2 episodes before, because frame by frame, it's still up. This is a couple years ago. One of reactions to these episodes. But not reviews. So these are actual reviews. But I did rewatch it because, to be honest, I did not remember a thing about it. I did not watch because I don't like watching my videos. I just don't like watching myself because I always pick apart. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should not have been quiet here. Dead space. I don't like that. Yeah, I criticize myself a lot. And it was for free on Amazon. Like Amazon Video, you can watch it for free. So that's how I watched them. And I don't know what my thoughts were years ago on those reactions, because I think it was a live stream and I watched them back to back. But I know it was negative, but I don't know about the details. I don't like this show. I did not like these 2 episodes. I don't know if Masi will request more. Same with... Hell, I never know if anyone will want to request, but it's up to them. Especially with the shit job I do. But I'm just being honest. I know there are people that like this kind of stuff, and that's fine. I don't. It's like I said, funny enough, Welcome to Derry, I didn't do this on purpose. I said in that show, oh, it reminds me of this show called Them, and then lo and behold, when I got the request, I looked and read, and Masi said, yeah, apparently, or this is their thoughts, reminded them of Them. Like, how Welcome to Derry reminded them of this show. I'm like, no fucking wonder why I remind you of it. This is the same black trauma, black victimization for entertainment. And the thing with this, it felt like a clone of Jordan Peele stuff. And here's the thing, I don't even hate Jordan Peele. Get Out, I still enjoy. I think Get Out is a damn good movie. I even like Nope. I got Nope right here on Blu-ray. I liked that film. Us, not really. Did not like it. It was funny. That movie was called Us. This is called Them. Then the TV show... Yes. What's next? You had a movie called Him. How about Dem? D-E-M. Dem Bones. There is a movie called They/Them. And whenever I think of Them, I always think of the Ant movie from the 50s that I remember enjoying. I do want to rewatch that one day, but I'm like, I like that movie. Can I watch that movie instead? But the plot of this, before I go on, it's 1953. This black family moved from North Carolina to California, East Compton. And this is supposed to be the next 10 days that they dealt with whatever is going to happen. So you have our main woman, Lucky Emery, her husband, Henry. They have two kids. We see a little flashback to when they were in North Carolina and she was alone, and this old woman came up and says, "Did you give it to me? Did you give me your baby?" In which our lead Lucky told her to fuck off pretty much. Then our present day. And with these two episodes, listen, I get it. It's a slow burn. I know people say you're not into slow burn movies. It's not my preferred choice. It's not my first, second, or third choice to gravitate towards. But there's plenty of horror films I enjoy that have a slow burn. Whether it be Session 9, whether it be Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, whether it be George C. Scott's The Changeling. It just depends on a variety of factors, just like any other movie. But what I saw in these two episodes was just racism, 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 racism is bad. And I had a guy, and I mean, they weren't being mean, but I had a guy on my Welcome to Derry review of the first two episodes went, "You do know there was racism back in the day, you know?" And I'm sitting there going, "No, I didn't know that." I know I don't mean to be in a mocky way. I just like, of course I do. I even said it in the video. I don't know if you watched the full video, but I said what you are talking about. I don't know why it is. Sometimes I say stuff, then people in the comments say stuff or ask questions that I clearly answered in the video. But yes, of course I know. And this is supposed to be a portrayal of how people had it terrible back then. I understand that. But just like I said in that, I say it in this. Why does it feel like every other fucking TV show that's of horror related in the genre, that if a person, the lead is black, it always goes, like 9 times out of 10, I'll say 9 times out of 10, it goes to racism. And people, go, well, there's a lot of bad things that happen, and it's a story that needs to be told. I can understand that too, but at the same time, don't you want other stories to be told? That's my question. That's my quandary. Don't you want other stories to be told? Like here, the kind of possible interesting part is the father having PTSD because of the war. That is more interesting to me than all the racism stuff. Like, why can't it just be about that? A father deal with PTSD because of the war, where he may or may not have been experimented on, or whatever the case might have happened. That, to me, is more fascinating. It's like, okay, we have that, but we have to deal with this as well. And again, I get it. It's like, well, what? Do you want to ignore it altogether? Like, I understand, but at the same time, there's no subtlety to it. It's ham-fisted, especially in this way. It's ham-fisted. It's on the nose, on the tip of your nose. It's been hit with a fucking hammer, and a jackhammer, and Jack Frost, and Jack the fucking Ripper, and Jack in the Box, and every other fucking Jack. God, the Jack, AC/DC style, just hits you over the head with it again and again. Where, at least these two episodes, they're either crying, or wide-eyed, or scared, or frightened. I'm like, isn't there any other stories to tell with someone who's the lead who happens to be black? At least that's where my viewpoint goes. And when that's the only thing you have, or, okay, one of the only things you have, I would say 80% of the time, And these 2 episodes was about that. Because I'm going to go through what I wrote down, because I like to write stuff down because to keep my attention on the show and on the stuff, so I'm not going around like, hey, squirrel. I mentioned the opening. They move in. People, all the white people are staring. They go in the house. White people are staring. The women set up chairs and they put loud music and they're staring at the house. The kids go to school. One of them comes home, sings a song. The mom doesn't like the song. She has this like little vision, almost slaps the shit out of her. White women being racist. Groups of them talking and being racist. Group of white men talking together, being racist. Saying stuff like mud baby. Henry goes to work. You tell some, hesitance there because of racism, because he's black. The little girl goes in the basement. There's a figure that approaches, opens their hands with Allstate, chokes the little girl, and then fades. And not only does it feel like a Jordan Peele clone because of the topics, like in the Twilight Zone TV show he did and Get Out, although I think Get Out, it was just much more interesting story. Also the way it does the edits, the sound effects stings, even the music, the usage of songs, all feel like stuff that Jordan Peele did in films like Get Out. So it feels like they took that and said, we're going to copy a lot of that feel, camera work, tone, vibe, music, and sound. So again, that's why I bet a lot of people thought Jordan Peele had a hand in this. Because it sounds like something he would do. Sound as in sound effect wise, music wise, and the theme sounds like he would do. That's one of the reasons I like the film Nope. There's a little bit of race in there, to be fair. But a chunk of it is this, I don't know what inspiration was Jaws, but this thing in the sky, which you find out is a creature, which I thought was a cool idea. Yeah, I like the idea of a UFO eating people. I've never seen that before, and the way it was done and the clouds, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. That was a bit different. That was a bit interesting. I like that. But anyway. So the kid's being choked. It kind of the screen goes like this and then fades out. We don't find out really what happened to the girl. I guess you find out later in the show, I would assume. The mom sees a mark on the girl's neck, on the kid's neck, and they find the dog dead in the basement. And the mom flies off the handle, grabs a gun, and is ready to shoot motherfucker outside. Then you cut to episode 2, where we see bits of flashbacks where the father, bit of his PTSD, he can't eat this pie, and then he sits outside and he finds a stray dog, names it. That's the dog who in the present time is now dead. The cops come, they talk, you gotta calm down. The father buries the dog. The mom is pissed at him. The dad's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? And, you can't have our daughter can't be telling cops about imaginary people that she may or may not have seen. More of the neighborhood being racist. The Betty Crocker wannabe bitch talks with this girl, and the girl says she's moving. And I think she's pregnant, so sorry I didn't tell you. And Miss Betty Crocker, fucking that's weird about it. The mom and one of the kids look at a corner of the basement, and they sense some evil there. Henry the dad goes to work, gets talked down to by other people there. Then there's this bit where he goes down the hallway and it turns to like this sickly yellow color. Then he goes to a door and there's a jump scare where a guy slams at the window of the door. But we flash back to his PTSD, person being experimented on, whatever the case had happened. Comes home. Miss Betty Crocker bitch puts sugar in the gas tank. I family don't know that yet. The mom gives the dad pie yet again, even though by this point she knows the guy don't like it, or each time he eats it, something messes with him. So then he starts eating pie and he's crying. The mom's sitting there and she's crying. There's literally a split screen where the two of them are looking at each other crying. And it's just people wide-eyed, people crying, and people being racist. That's the three things that happen in these 2 episodes. You either cry, or you look wide-eyed, or you're racist. And I mean, that's all I could gather in the first 2 episodes, and that's all I got in terms of story. And yeah, I think these episodes are 50 minutes long. 50 minutes apiece. That's an hour and 40 minutes total. That's the length of a lot of fucking movies. And also, I find this really boring because you sincerely could have taken whatever the fuck was in these 2 episodes and you could put them probably, if I'm being nice and generous, 30 minutes of screen time in a movie. Some say you do in 25 minutes. With the amount of little story, was I scared in either one of these? No. The scares, you could tell, are coming a mile away. I don't think there's much subtlety in the themes that is trying to approach. It's very heavy-handed. Black trauma, black victimization. Yes, I understand that happens, and that has happened, and sadly will continue to happen, and I hate it. I hate it as much as the next person. I mean, if I want to delve into that world, I'll watch Get Out, I'll watch Tales from the Hood, I'll watch a number of other stuff and material that have done that. Episodes of Quantum Leap even. But I just don't see what this offers. Do I think it's scary? No. Do I think it's suspenseful? No. The characters, I barely know them amongst 2 episodes. Well, yeah, I watched the full 10. But I'm also tired of this shit of taking this material that honestly could have just been a fucking movie and you stretch it out so thin into 10 fucking episodes. Not every one of these stories need 10 goddamn episodes to stretch it out over. It's like, well, we just assume, since all these other things had 8, 9, 10 episodes, we should do it as well. You could, doesn't mean you should. You should ask yourself, does this need 10 episodes? Is there enough story here to have it be a 10 episode, or whatever, 8, 9, 10 episode event? I think it's 10. No. As far as it seemed like so far, no, it did not need 10 episodes. I don't know if I'll be requesting the others. Maybe it gets better. Maybe it doesn't. But I mean, just this... when it's stuff that you see over and over and over, when it just hammer the point over and over and over again for 50 minutes, then you do it over and over and over and over again for another 50 minutes, and then the only 2 things is there's a slight little supernatural thing a little bit, and then there's a slight thing with the father's PTSD. And the supernatural bit so far doesn't seem that interesting. There's the woman that choked the girl, then it cut away, and then she either did or whatever. And then there's I think episode 2, there's a bit where the mom has a hallucination at a store that the owner went up and said, you should go get the person who killed your dog. And she's looking at axes, wide-eyed. Because like I said, you're either wide-eyed, you're either crying, or you're racist. You're one of those 3 things in this fucking show. Fuck them, fuck us, fuck, oh man. See, that's one of the reasons why I was kind of intrigued by the movie Him with Marlon Wayans. Which I do think is a flawed film. Don't get me wrong. It was a flawed movie. I think the movie had more potential and it did not fully showcase its potential. That's why Him with Marlon Wayans I think was a bit disappointing, but it was more interesting than this to me, where it swung for a couple fences about idol worship and how toxic that could be to idolize someone and want to be someone so much that you forget who you are and you don't know where that person's come from or how that person got where he was. And there's some interesting visuals and there's parts of Him I liked, but again, it didn't fully stick to the landing, sadly. And that's what's frustrating about that film. But I will still give more credit to that film, which I thought was a mixed bag, to something like this. Because Him tried to do something a little bit different. Not a ton different, but a little bit different. I can appreciate that. This, not so much. That's just me, though. And there's really not much else to talk about. That's like all that happens. And I feel sorry for the characters in their predicament, but the mom, obviously there's something screwed up because of whatever's happened in the past or her anger issues. And how many times you don't give your husband pie before you realize, oh, if I give him pie, he tries. Maybe stop giving fucking pie. So obviously something underneath is going on. Some kind of, she's a bit fucked up psychologically. Obviously the husband's a bit fucked up psychologically because of the PTSD, the war. Which of any bits of story, that's like the only one I'd be vaguely interested in delving into. The only thing. The other characters, I mean, they're so racist, it's almost, I mean, I hate to say cartoonish because there are people out there that are that racist, let's be honest. So it's hard to say that, but so I can understand if you want to do it that way. That's fine. That's your choice. You made it already. Obviously successful in the season 2, but it was only 2 seasons. But it's just, if it's an action film where the bad guy's going to kick their ass and shoot them in the face or something, okay. Which hell, I'll watch Best of the Best 3 for that. Which I like Best of the Best 3. Was it No Turning Back? Philip Reed against neo-Nazis or whatever. I'll take that. Can I watch Best of the Best 3 instead? That's a fun movie. Obviously, it's not meant to be fun. It's meant to be, some people say, well, it's made, make you feel like how our grandparents felt. Well, I'm sorry your grandparents went through that. I'm sorry. But it's not, I hate to say it, it's not, okay, it's not meant to be entertaining, but then I'll watch a documentary about it, or I'll watch movies like Mississippi Burning, or I'll watch various other movies that dealt with that subject material. Again, I'll watch Tales from the Hood again. That dealt with that material, but there's also either more pieces of entertainment or more pieces of interesting character development or other pieces. Just there'll be movies that are entertaining, but then they have social commentary. And a good way is to blend the two. So you have entertainment, but it tells you about the human condition. Star Trek back to the day would do that. Like the episode where you had the guy who is half black, half white, and the other guy who is half black and half white. And people are like, wait a minute, you guys are the same. No, he's black on the left side. I'm black on the right side. That's because he couldn't really do, Gene Roddenberry couldn't really do a episode on racism, but it was a workaround. So he's blending social commentary with entertainment. And I'll watch it that way. Just what I prefer. But no matter how I word it, it'll be twisted and turned to, well, you must be racist. I don't know, let me ask Danny Glover. Danny Glover, am I racist? Yes, he is. Fuck off. Shut up, Danny Glover. Danny Glover, shush. He's racist. Shut up, Danny Glover. Stop it. Right there, Danny Glover. It's the other Danny Glover. Anyway. I'm having fun with it. Obviously, I'm goofing and stuff, of course, but again, take it for what you will. I didn't like it. I didn't like the 2 episodes. I found them very boring for the most part. Very fucking boring. If you want to see black people scared and try and be, scared and try some more, you need to watch these 2 episodes. Take that for you all. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.